All right, it's Tuesday, May 17th, about midday. Just wanted to analyze American Airlines stock, AAL. This is the daily chart. You can see it's moving up nicely today with a big green bar. And I'll go over why it's likely moving higher in the weeks ahead. And I'll show you kind of the setups happening on the various time frames. First of all, on the monthly chart, you can see here, it really bought a lot of buying 2 months ago down here in the 12, 13 area, heavy volume. You can see it did come down, spiked, and then reversed higher. And we had a bit of a monthly follow through to take out some of these highs. And then this month, what we're seeing here is an attempt to make a down month, but it looks like it's failed. And if we can reach the 50% mark, which would really be new highs in this month, then we're likely heading towards new monthly highs here, which, monthly highs of the last month were kind of a fail to down. And on the monthly chart, we could be heading up towards those highs near 20 or 22. Now, in terms of the weekly chart, this is really the main signal that's in play right here. After moving up, you can see what happened was it came down and broadened out, and I'll show you on the daily chart below, these lows right into this little gap. You can see this gap here, this big green bar between the high of that and the low of that. That's a gap bar where you expect to see support. It found support here, so you formed the weekly hammer, and now you have a weekly 2 up going. So now with this weekly 2 up, you are projecting the first target here towards 1964. It's really close to 20, and if it continue higher, you can take out this high and this high, which ultimately gets us up to 2142 up in here if in the weeks ahead we broaden higher. And on the daily chart, like you can see here, we did come down on this big move down just to take out these stops. That's all it did with this move. This is the gap area where you should find the support on that weekly chart, and then you start it up. So on the daily chart today, it's not really a true strat signal. It's a kind of a 2-2 continuation higher, but the weekly chart is triggering here the 2 up, which should project up to this 20 area. And that's kind of, it might not go straight up there. You might have to, pull back a little bit, pause, but eventually that should be happening in the weeks ahead. And on the daily chart, once you saw the big up opening today, on the intraday chart, you have the big 15-minute bar that came down, and then you had, this would be a good entry signal. Once it came down, it had the 2 down, 2 up on the 15-minute chart. So back here early in the day, around 1726, was a nice entry to enter this position, and it's worked its way up to 1750 right now. So it's continued higher. The options in play, if you look here at the, well, it's not showing it as clearly. Here's the August 20 calls right here. They're at 110, 109, 110. So that's getting a bunch of volume in here. It's a few months out. It should give you plenty of time. And if this heads up to that 1920 area in the weeks ahead, this thing, should have a nice percentage gain. So it looks like a good trade to me. And again, today, it's definitely continuing higher. Some of the airlines gave upgrades today. I saw that. So maybe it's an industry group that's, after all this down action, is getting ready to at least make another push up here, given that first move up to take out these highs. Then we paused, came down, and now we're starting up again. And again, it's this weekly chart, which I think is the key. I don't know where the stop would, once you get in here, I guess at this point, as long as you hold above the weekly open, 1657-ish, then you kind of watch to see if you can follow through in the weeks ahead. That's kind of maybe what you would do. I can't really see a tighter stop in here. If you get a 2 down day, I don't think that's enough to stop you out. But in terms of, negating what's happening here on the weekly chart. But in terms of everything, it does look like this weekly hammer should continue higher towards at least this first target here, and then maybe all the way up here. So we'll see what happens. But American Airlines and the whole industry kind of looking positive at the moment.